Ark Raiders is about to go live in less than 2 weeks. Embark has kept the story close to the chest, so there is not much known information about the lore. However, we did get 2 early looks, the tech tests, and they gave us small hints if you knew where to stare. Right now, before release, there is not much that is official. Still, the world already leaves traces. Little clues in the edges of the maps, in the audio, in how the machines move. In this video, I want to walk through what we might be stepping into. I will mix what has been confirmed with what we can reasonably piece together. I will point to patterns across what we have seen so far and try to connect them. This is my read on the universe at this moment. Treat it as a work in progress. Some of what I say is not canon. It is my speculation, backed by the hints we have and shaped by how I see this world. Since the game is not out yet and the early tests were limited, there is not much footage to show. Still, I wanted to share these thoughts now, while the mystery is fresh. So, you may see some repeated shots and screenshots. Think of this more like an audiobook you can leave on while you do your thing. Grab something to drink, settle in, and let's dive in. When you first step into Ark Raiders, it feels like the world has already moved on without us. The sky is full of wreckage, satellites, drones, and fragments of something ancient and violent falling, burning up, and disappearing into the horizon. Down below, humanity hides in the dark. Not because the night is dangerous, but because the sky is. The surface is a graveyard, old machines, half-buried structures, the remains of something we once controlled, and above it all, the Ark. A name whispered like a curse, or maybe a warning. We call ourselves Raiders, scavengers who climb to the surface, searching for scraps of the old world. Every trip is a risk. Every raid is a fight for survival. But what exactly are we fighting against? What is the Ark doing on the surface of the planet? And why are they hostile toward us? The Ark still patrol the ruins, machines built for a purpose we no longer understand. Some say they were created by humans long ago, a defense network that turned against us. Others believe they came from somewhere else entirely. Whatever the truth is, they now rule what is left of the surface. And that raises another question. If the Ark were built by humanity, what caused them to rebel? Or, if they are not ours, then what are they protecting here? The survivors below have built their lives in the shadows. Cities carved into rock and steel, connected by tunnels, and radio towers that reach up through the dirt like broken veins. Life underground is rough, but it is safe. Up there, it never is. Yet even now, something is changing. Strange signals, power surges, and machines that do not act like the others. Something is happening above the surface, and nobody knows why. For every story Ark Raiders tells us in the open, there is another one buried just beneath it. At first glance, the story of Ark Raiders seems simple. Humanity built machines, the machines turned on us, and now we live underground. That is the version most people accept, but even that might only be half true. We know that the Ark exists. We know they fall from orbit, organized, structured, and relentless. We know they attack anything human on sight, but the reason behind it is still unknown. Who gave them their orders? Why are they still active after all this time? And what exactly are they trying to accomplish? Although Ark units appear to act on their own, they communicate and coordinate. One example is the Snitch. It does not deal damage. Its purpose is to detect raiders and call for help. When it scans a hostile target, reinforcements arrive, often flying units like Wasps and a Hornet. Across the surface, raiders also come across crashed or abandoned Ark drones. These wrecks are full of valuable mechanical and electrical parts. Salvaging them can be dangerous because once disturbed, some begin to broadcast loud distress signals on specific frequencies. Within moments, more Ark patrols respond to the call. It is a simple rule. If you touch their tech, they come to take it back. There does not seem to be a single hive mind controlling all of them. The Ark behave more like a decentralized system. Every unit serves a role, shares information, and acts within a pattern. Snitches scout. Wasps and hornets respond. Larger ground units like bisons, bastions, and sentinels hold territory. It feels less like one mind in control and more like an automated ecosystem that refuses to stop. If this is true, then what keeps them going? Are they still following an old directive? Something left over from the past? Or have they adapted, learning to maintain their systems on their own? The few records that survived tell us very little. No one remembers when the Ark first appeared or who created them. Generations have passed underground long enough that the war with the machines has turned from history into myth. To most raiders today, the Ark are not a mystery to solve. They are a condition to live with. You plan your raids around them like you plan around the weather. But lately, something feels different. Their patrols are shifting. Their movements no longer follow the old patterns. Maybe they are running out of power, or maybe they are preparing for something new. There is a rhythm to their presence, but lately that rhythm feels broken. Certain areas that were once quiet are now patrolled more heavily, while others have gone silent. Even the skies above seem less predictable. It could all be coincidence. Or maybe, after all these years, the Ark have started to change. Whatever the reason, it feels like the surface is holding its breath. Something is building up there. And sooner or later, we are going to find out what it is. The world tells its story in silence. You see it in broken walls, cracked surfaces, overgrown rooftops, and faded logos that once promised progress. The ruins are not uniformly old. Some structures carry a modern aesthetic, with clean lines and glass facades that survived just enough to hint at what was. That contrast is unsettling. Decay and careful design stand side by side. It suggests that when things fell apart, there was still ambition left behind. Down below, the underground is built from what people could scavenge. Steel frames, concrete blocks, wiring repurposed from old power grids. The technology feels patched together, a layer cake of eras. On the surface, the Ark machines persist in their functions as if time never moved. They maintain patrols, monitor zones, and repair or replace fallen units. They keep the world running, but they do not build new. That leads to a question. Were the Ark ever meant to expand or evolve? Or were they always meant to maintain? You find signs that suggest there might be more below the surface. Old data terminals, satellite banks, and power conduits that go deeper than we can reach. Traces of wiring routed through layers we cannot fully inspect. It is as though there is an underlayer that is still active, unseen, but humming. If that underlayer is real, then maybe the world we see is just the skin of something far bigger. A network, silent and persistent, holding the world's memory in code and circuitry. And if that network still operates, maybe the Ark are not alone in following protocols left long ago. Maybe some directives are still alive, waiting for someone to reawaken them. While the surface belongs to the Ark, the underground belongs to us. Beneath the surface, humanity has built a fragile kind of civilization. Not organized nations, not cities in the old sense, but clusters of survivors connected through tunnels, trade, and radio. The largest known settlement is Speranza. It is more than a home. It is the last functioning hub where raiders gather, prepare, and bring back what they find above. The deeper you go, the more it feels like a reflection of the world that came before. Corridors lined with flickering lights, makeshift housing welded from scrap, vendors selling parts that once powered entire systems. Everything runs on barter, trust, and the few remaining technologies that still function. There is a strange calm to it all. People have accepted that the world above is lost, yet they continue to reach for it. Every raid to the surface is a small act of defiance, a reminder that we are still here. Raiders, they are scavengers, explorers, engineers, and sometimes thieves. Each one risks their life, not just for survival, but for fragments of history. A working processor, a mechanical limb, a piece of pre-fall technology that might still hold value. Still, beneath the trade and routine, you can feel a quiet tension. Not everyone agrees on what the future should look like. Some believe humanity should rebuild slowly, avoiding the mistakes that led to the fall. Others whisper that we should learn from the Ark instead of fighting them, that their persistence might hold the key to our survival. But behind all those ideas, something darker is happening. Although it looks like a war between humanity and the machines, the real conflict runs much deeper. The fight for survival has turned into a fight for profit. The artifacts and resources pulled from the surface are worth more than anything else underground, and that value has changed people. Raiders are willing to take extreme risks, and sometimes that line between survival and greed becomes hard to see. For some, every trip to the surface is not just about living another day, but about being the one who returns with the most. At first glance, Speranza looks functional, even hopeful, but behind the markets and neon signs lies a harsh truth. Life underground is not about rebuilding a world. It is about holding on to whatever is left for as long as possible. So far, we have seen only a glimpse of the world of Ark Raiders. The surface, the tunnels, the machines, and the people trying to survive between them. But what comes next might completely change how we understand this universe. One of the most interesting things Embark has revealed, in my opinion, is the Expedition project. On paper, it sounds like a new phase for Raiders, but when you look at how it is described, it feels like something bigger, a narrative door being opened. The mention of vast, unexplored tunnel networks around Speranza suggests that the world of Ark Raiders extends far deeper than we have seen. If that is true, we might one day explore places untouched by the Ark. Entire regions hidden beneath the surface, sealed off long before the fall. Areas that could hold their own dangers. Not just mechanical ones. Maybe old human experiments. Maybe something entirely different that has adapted to survive in the dark. The Expedition project has the potential to lead us away from the surface world and into the depths of the underground. A journey into the forgotten layers of the planet, and into the history that predates the conflict we know. On the other side of this, the Ark themselves are still evolving. They are not just random machines following old routines. Their actions are controlled by an artificial intelligence that has been refined and iterated countless times to create complex, adaptive behavior. That means what we face on the surface is not static. It changes. It learns. It reacts to us. The longer we fight them, the smarter they become. And if that is what the Ark are now, it raises an unsettling question. How far can that intelligence evolve before it becomes something more? If their behavior can be refined, if their systems can adapt, then what happens when the Ark begin to outgrow their programming? What if they already have? Between the unknown depths below and the growing intelligence above, Ark Raiders sits on the edge of something much larger. The game we know now could just be the beginning of a story about discovery and the consequences of what humanity created to protect itself. There is a small but striking detail hidden in the world of Ark Raiders. On the surface, among the ruins and broken billboards, there is a rusted sign with the words Jiangsu Romania printed across it. That name might sound familiar. In the finals, Jiangsu Romanya is one of the major sponsors, a powerful corporate brand tied to the hyper-commercialized broadcast networks that define that world. Seeing it again here is not just coincidence. It is a fragment of connection. The logo on that billboard looks old, faded, and corroded, as if decades have passed since it meant anything. Yet its presence raises an interesting question. The finals takes place in a fictional VR game show setting around the year 2100. A future where human technology and entertainment have reached their peak. If that world represents the height of humanity's ambition, then Ark Raiders might take place long after it, in the aftermath of its collapse. That single billboard could be a message from the past, a reminder of how far humanity once went before it all came crashing down. But there is another possibility. What if both games actually take place around the same time? What if humanity did not collapse everywhere? Only on Earth. It could be that the wealthy and powerful escaped, leaving the planet behind to those who could not afford to follow. Perhaps they built their paradise somewhere else, maybe on orbital stations or even on the moon, safe, clean, detached from the chaos below. In that version of the story, the finals would be the world of the elite, a place of comfort so extreme that reality itself became entertainment. While Ark Raiders would be the other side of that coin, the forgotten Earth left to decay under the rule of machines and the remnants of failed systems. Two worlds existing in parallel, one drowning in luxury, the other in ruin. It is only a theory, but the idea fits too neatly to ignore. Embark has already proven how carefully they build their worlds. And a detail like a single rusted billboard might not just be decoration. It might be the first clue that the finals and Ark Raiders are two reflections of the same humanity, one that reached its peak and one that paid the price for it. The world of Ark Raiders is full of questions. Every fragment, every piece of wreckage, every sound from the sky feels like part of a much bigger story waiting to be uncovered. We still don't know who built the Ark, or what truly caused the fall. We don't know how far this world stretches or how deep it goes. But that is exactly what makes it so fascinating. Embark has built a world that feels alive, even in its silence. A world that hints instead of explains. One that lets us fill the gaps with our own imagination. Everything I have talked about in this video is, as I said, purely speculative. None of it should be taken as confirmed or canon. It is simply an exploration of ideas. What could be true, what might connect, and what stories could still be hiding in the shadows of this world. Still, it is fascinating to think about the endless possibilities. I honestly can't wait for the game to release and to reveal more of its secrets. For a video like this, I would love to explore the world through cinematic shots, to show the atmosphere of each area in a way that matches the tone of these stories. I would love to see some kind of tool that would allow to create cinematic shots. I believe videos like this one would really benefit from it. I really hope Embark will provide some type of tool for the community in the near future. It would be much appreciated. Until then, I apologize that this video couldn't be more visually interesting. This video was a bit of an experimental approach. I really just wanted to see if people enjoy this kind of lore and speculation video. If you liked it, consider giving it a like. It really helps the channel, and it tells YouTube that people want to see more videos like this. Do you agree with my speculations, or do you have your own theories about how it all connects? Let me know in the comments below. Also, join my Discord and let's build a community together. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.